Last week, I ran a live masterclass with a room full of women, and one told me she lost everything in a gold scheme. And another one said she got scammed once and now she cannot trust anyone with her money. And to be really honest with you, I get it because I got scammed too. I lost $1,000. And you know what is the worst part is that my God knew it. It told me not to do it and I did it anyway. So let me tell you what happened and the 3 red flags that I ignored. So hopefully this never happens to you. This happens a few years ago. I was already investing for the long term. I didn't have my business yet, but I was investing consistently in the stock market. But there was a problem. My salary alone wasn't enough to, get to my financial freedom number as quickly as I wanted. And that desire for more growth was exactly the doorway scams walk through. And around that time, a friend introduced me to a crypto project, and I was still learning about crypto, and this person seemed incredibly knowledgeable. They were talking about all these concepts I never heard before, and I remember thinking maybe they know something that I don't. So I started researching, and part of me was, impressed. But another part of me was screaming, "Girl, run." I remember looking at this project and thinking something fell off. The whole thing was built around paying investors 1% per day. And I kept thinking, wait a minute, a real business solves a problem. A real investment creates value. How can a project whose main purpose is paying people returns actually sustain itself? I looked through the website, I looked at the roadmap, everything felt vague. The explanations weren't clear, the details didn't really add up. So I brought my concerns back to the person who introduced it to me. And, to be honest, I never thought they were trying to deceive me. I genuinely believed they believed in it. But every time I raised a concern, there was always an explanation. Every red flag had an answer. Every doubt got brushed aside. And eventually, I invested the money. Not because I understood it, not because I had conviction, but because part of me wanted it to be true. And that is the part I wanted to hear. I didn't invest because I understood it. I invested because I wanted it to be true. At first, everything looked great. My account was growing, the numbers were going up, and I thought maybe I was wrong. Maybe this really was the opportunity, but that is debate. Then things started getting weird. The website changed, there were delays, there were explanations, migrations, there were deadlines to, do certain things like a conversion of coins, whatever. Long story short, everything became really complicated. And then I started seeing people online calling it a scam. And at that moment, I knew exactly what had happened. And honestly, I couldn't even blame anyone else. I had seen the red flags. I just ignored them. Now, do I feel ridiculous telling this story on YouTube? Absolutely. But I think more people need to talk about this because smart people get scammed all the time. And most of them never admit it because they are embarrassed. Morgan Housel says that doing well with money is more about behavior than intelligence. And looking back, that's exactly what happened to me. The scam didn't beat my intelligence, it beat my behavior. It didn't get around my brain, it got around my hope, my desire for more, my desire to get there faster. And when you feel behind, when you are doing the math in your head every month, when you are wondering if you'll ever catch up, that's when you are most vulnerable. Because part of you starts thinking, what if this one is different? What if this is a shortcut? What if this is the thing that finally gets me ahead? And that hope can override your judgment. That is exactly when you are easiest to fool. Looking back, there were 3 red flags in front of me. Number 1, any promise of guaranteed returns, especially fixed returns. If someone is promising 1% per day guaranteed, run. Number 2, your gut is telling you something is wrong. If you find yourself saying, this sounds too good to be true, listen to that voice and be very careful when someone keeps pushing you past your doubt instead of clearly answering your questions. Number 3, it works at first. A lot of scams pay out in the beginning, and that's how they build trust. Then withdrawals get delayed, the website changes, the rules change, the person goes quiet, and that's often how the story ends. The lesson isn't that you shouldn't trust nobody. The lesson isn't that every investment is a scam. The lesson is that you need to understand your money, to know your goals, to know your numbers, know your risk tolerance, and respect it. Because the truth is, getting money takes some risks. Keeping the money takes discipline. I learned the lesson the hard way. I'm Malu, founder of This Mama Invest, and I went from living paycheck to building a net worth of over $700,000 for my family in 6 years. If you want to learn how to grow your money without chasing shortcuts, subscribe to this channel and I'll see you in the next video.